I'm with you too, Larry.
What about the old thing that Larry Holmes has been saying, that you leave the battery on too long and the battery goes dead? He says, but you rest it and the battery recharges itself. Do you buy that? Does the battery recharge itself?
Well, Barry, what I've assumed now is the fact that Larry Holmes is trying to relive the days of yesterday, because he's playing the same song that he played years ago. Ain't no stopping us now.
Well, Larry Holmes is making his way toward the ring now, but interestingly enough, it's not the way that he was supposed to come into the ring, and it just seems that Larry Holmes is doing everything he can just to disrupt things here.
Well, I think that the guy who eventually beats the champion is somebody who has similar skills to Larry Holmes when Larry Holmes was on top of his game. Someone who could frustrate him, make him anxious, make him wild, and have the nerve and the poise to stand in there while the bombs are flying all around him.
Well, let me ask you another thing, Ray. Richie Giacchetti, who of course is Larry Holmes' trainer and has been, but for an 18-month period since the very, very early days of Larry Holmes' career, says that Mike Tyson is made to order for Larry Holmes because he's right in front of you and he has to get set to be able to punch. But Kevin Rooney says that Mike Tyson definitely has a lot of head movement and you can't just punch him.
Mike Tyson used to be in front of you, but now Kevin Rooney has him giving angles. He's slipping and sliding, and all those methods of training has paid off.
Larry Holmes now in the ring.
And Mike Tyson waited about a second and a half, and he almost is running down here.
And you might notice, too, there's no music, no fanfare for Mike Tyson. Goes right along with his outfit. No robe, black trunks, no socks, black shoes, all business.
Talk about let's get it on. He didn't even want to wait that long.
Incidentally, we did have reports that there was a death threat against Mike Tyson. That's all we know. We don't know where it came from, how it was delivered, and we don't even know if Mike Tyson knows about it. There is a look at an angry young man.
Larry Holmes looks to me he's going to fight this man in the first round.
Don't get exercised here, Ray. Let's not get overexcited. And there is the record of Larry Holmes. Won 48 in a row, of course, before he lost those 2 fights to Michael Spinks.
He's a businessman. He says this isn't a sport, it's a sporting business. That's the way he looks at it. And speaking of all business, Mike Tyson 32-0 with the 28 knockouts. He fights about 4 times a year as champion. He is moving up in the record books, getting up there with some very, very big names in heavyweight history.
Just 21 years old and fighting his 6th heavyweight championship fight already.
And the tail of the tape, we told you about the 17-year age difference. And the weight really not any kind of a factor. Tyson a little bit lighter than he might have expected, but he was 218 the day before the fight. And Holmes a couple pounds heavier than he was in the second Spinks fight.
Yeah, that reach difference, 10 inches, might have meant something when Larry Holmes had that great snapping jab that he could impale an opponent on. And here is our punch stat numbers. This is a device to get a statistical profile of the activity of fighters, and as you can see, the figures are roughly the same. Tyson throws a fewer punches than Holmes did in the past, but the Holmes numbers are hard to measure because he hasn't been active. And there you see the jabs, Tyson throwing fewer, Holmes of course throwing many more.
And the rules for this one, it is a 12-round fight, incidentally. WBA and WBC now 12 rounds. Other than that, they're the rules for just about every fight you see here on HBO. No 3 knockdown rule, and a fighter can be saved with a bell only in the last round. Normally, that's not the rule in New Jersey, but they have changed it for this particular fight. So what's left then is to get it on, and to do that, let's go up to the ring announcer, Michael Buffer, for the pre-fight introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to heavyweight history here in Convention Hall in Atlantic City. Now, before the official introduction, I would like to acknowledge a man here in the ring who is indeed a man of heavyweight history. In 1960, he was an Olympic gold medal champion. In 1964, he became the heavyweight champion of the world. In 1974, he again won the heavyweight title. And in 1978, he became the only man in heavyweight history to win 3 world championships. Ladies and gentlemen, the former 3-time heavyweight champion of the world, Muhammad Ali! Muhammad Ali! And now, Don King Productions and the Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino present Heavyweight History. This bout is presented in association with the undisputed, undefeated king of beers, Budweiser. It is sanctioned by the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board. Boxing Commissioner Larry Hazard, Chairman Jerry Gormley, Deputy Commissioners Nick D. Balistrari and Lawrence Wallace. Representing the World Boxing Council, its President Jose Sulaiman and ringside supervisor Dwayne Ford. Here for the World Boxing Association, legal counsel James J. Binns, Esquire. The 3 judges doing the scoring for this contest: Rudy Ortega, Nicasio Drake, and Charlie Spina. The timekeeper is Lindsey Tucker. Counting for the knockdown seconds, Frank Cappuccino. Chief ringside physician, Dr. Frank B. Doggett. Also in attendance, Dr. Charles Wilson and Dr. Stanley Eden. And the referee for this bout is Joe Cortez. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! 12 rounds for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He's wearing the white trunks with red trim and weighs 225 3/4 pounds. From Easton, Pennsylvania, his professional record, 48 victories, only 2 defeats, 34 KOs. For 7.5 years, he ruled the division as an undefeated champion with 20 successful defenses. Tonight, he's the challenger. Ladies and gentlemen, the man known as the Easton Assassin, former heavyweight champion of the world, Larry Holmes! And in the red corner, wearing the solid black trunks, weighing 215 3/4 pounds, from Catskill, New York, which is the hometown of the late great trainer of champions, Cus D'Amato. His professional record, a perfect 32-0, 28 KOs, 23 KOs in 4 rounds or less, and 16 knockouts in the first round. Ladies and gentlemen, I present you the undefeated, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Iron Mike Tyson.
All right, gentlemen, I gave you both the rules in the dressing room. And remember what I told you, I'm here to enforce my rules, obey my commands at all times. Any questions? All right, shake hands, good luck to both of you.
To me, guys, the real issue here is how Larry Holmes is going to deal with this force of nature in front of him when he gets hurt. Will he just fold up? Will he fight back as he did all through his career? Or will he just hang on?
Yeah, I think that's really been the mystique of this fight this week, and I think that's really what's made it the event that it is. Round 1.
I called Larry Holmes from my home, and he said that I would not run from Mike Tyson, which implies he's ready to exchange punch for punch.
Ray, I have to ask you, any punch that anybody with an iota of tactical wisdom would go after the body and take away Larry Holmes' legs. Agree?
You notice exactly, but you see what Larry Holmes is trying to do. He's trying to use that reach advantage. Keep that stiff hand out there and not let Mike Tyson get his punches off. Again, we see Mike Tyson not throwing punches inside. We'll see a lot of tying up from Larry Holmes, and we should see a lot of tying up.
Holmes does work the body, rather Tyson works the body earlier.
Again, Larry's preserving those legs. He's not doing a lot of dancing, a lot of movement, but you need to see more jabs. He's keeping his man off by extending a stiff left hand.
Holmes has contradicted himself as far as whether or not he's going to use the jab. Sometimes he says he will, other times he says I don't need it. I'll go to the right hand and right uppercuts.
See, Tyson's having a few problems here, not being able to measure Larry Holmes. And I think that's what Larry Holmes has in mind, to try to frustrate Mike and make him run into him.
All right, break out. All right, break out. Stop punching, Mike. Stop punching. Break out clean, guys. Break out clean.
We also notice that there's not a snap. Larry Holmes is not snapping his jab, but actually, which has proven to be effective thus far, he's extending his left hand.
Just holding Mike Tyson off.
All right, break out. Let's go. Break out clean. Break out clean, guys. Break out clean.
What Tyson has to do, he has to try to do a couple head feints and work his way inside and work the body.
All right, Larry. Let's go, Larry. Break out clean. Break out clean.
But once again, the popular school of thought is that Larry Holmes is going to have to back up Mike Tyson. Nobody's been able to do it yet. Left hand by Tyson. Holmes got out of there. Didn't seem to hurt him, though.
What Tyson needs to do is just pick the pace up. He's drilled the right hand to the body. Good idea, because again, he try to slow the movement down.
All right, let him go, clean. Let him go, Larry. Larry, let him go. Let's go. Step back. Let's go.
Joe Cortez, the referee in this game, ironically, he was the judge who gave Larry Holmes the fight against Michael Spinks, the second Michael Spinks fight.
You're holding now. Let's go.
He cannot score in this fight, however.
Tyson was trying to jump in with the left hook.
In that round anyway, the landmark avoided the record's ball.
Range on your jab, make it hurt a little more. You gotta make the jab count a little more. Chin down. That's right. Chin down. Then when you do for the jab, then you come up with it. Then come back with your left hook. Come up, then come back. 3-punch combination.
Pop, 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 pop. Remember, pop, pop. Pop,
Okay?
pop.
To the body. Then bring it upstairs. But use the jab, behind the jab. You understand?
Larry Holmes only threw 10 punches in the first round, and not too many of them in anger.
And just to elaborate on that, by comparison, Tyrell Biggs threw 44 and Tony Tucker threw 61.
Larry Holmes is being very economical in there. He's not wasting a lot of energy. He's just trying to preserve that strength. A right hand thrown with serious convictions by Larry Holmes. Didn't land, but he tried to measure. We see once again the tying up by Larry Holmes. Kevin Rooney, Barry, wanted Mike to go to the body. Good stiff jab by Mike.
Strong jab. Kevin Rooney also told Mike Tyson 3-punch combinations.
All right, break out. Let go. Let go, Larry.
Remember the numbering system we talked about before the fight that Mike Tyson and Kevin Rooney used.
Larry Holmes must be careful when he tries to evade Mike Tyson, because his hands are down, and the way Mike throws those looping and powerful punches, he may get caught with one of those hooks.
Holmes so far going with a lot of right-hand leads and a lot of uppercuts.
Larry basically is abandoning his left jab and trying to actually set up Mike with the right hand. He's trying to time Mike coming in.
right, let him go, Larry. Break out, please.
He's not letting Mike get his punches off. He's tying him up every opportunity he gets. There was another attempt. It fell short. The body's wide open, and Tyson attacks him.
Hold on left glove, Larry. Hold on left glove.
I watch him for an uppercut from Larry Holmes. A right uppercut.
He's tried a couple of them. Very close to a headbutt right there also.
What Larry's doing, he's throwing his jab, not with a lot of force, but he's throwing it, and he's waiting for Mike to duck down to come under with the right hand. Right uppercut.
Come on. Let's go. Work out that. Work the head inside, guys. Let's go. All right, Larry, break. Larry, you're holding it, Larry. Let's go.
Joe Cortez talking to Larry Holmes about holding. There's a left hook by Tyson.
So far, this is a fight that only the American Medical Association could love. Also, my wife, who hates violence.
That's really Larry.
Bullshit. Don't tell me I ain't holding inside. You're not punching. You let him hold it. Don't hand me that crap. Spit down the book. We don't have another bucket. Now spit down that one. Go ahead. So take that. Give me the mouth, please. You do one jab, one decent jab in your land. You gotta put pressure on this guy, Michael. You gotta punch.
Tyson did get closer to Larry at the end of the round with that wide combination of right to the body and a left that just grazed the mouth area.
Come on. All right, seconds out. Last retreat. Seconds out, retreat.
Holmes is practicing what Archie Moore used to call escapology. The question is, when is he going to start to practice fightology?
Both guys must be extremely careful. For Larry Holmes, he can't move away with those hands down because of the way Mike Tyson punches. For Mike Tyson, he has to be careful of not getting over anxious and coming in, winging those shots because they become telegraphed because of frustration.
Tyson using a long left jab, much more than we've seen him do in his last 2 or 3 fights.
See, Larry Holmes, Barry's trying to time Tyson coming in. That's the right hand.
Tyson says, no, it didn't hurt. That usually means it hurt.
Again, it really happened again there. Tyson must be extremely careful about just rushing in there.
All right, break out, please. Break out. Press some points in. Break out.
In the corner, Tyson complained to Kevin Rooney that Larry Holmes is holding him, and Kevin Rooney disagreed. Say, forget about that. You just go ahead and fight your fight. We see some snapping jabs from Larry Holmes now. The uppercut.
All right, break out, team. Let's go. Get him out. Get him out. Let's go.
Holmes is using every advantage that he has. The height, the long arms, and a little bit of movement.
And just waiting and trying to time Mike Tyson, and he has done it a couple of times. Hasn't hurt Tyson, but he has caught him a couple of times.
No question about it. Larry Holmes has studied the tapes of Bone Crusher Smith.
There's a right hand lead by Tyson.
That fell short. Caught Larry on the shoulder.
Left hand caught Holmes ducking in, but no damage.
Larry Holmes going to the body. What Tyson has to maintain is his composure. He can't get frustrated.
Break out clean, let's go.
Holmes doing a lot of grabbing, a lot of clutching.
Again, you see what happened there.
A little bit of an elbow there from Larry Holmes, too.
Well, actually, Larry Holmes is just really trying to upset Mike and get Mike out of this fight plan. I think Mike Tyson should pick up the pace. He's fighting Larry Holmes' pace. shots that create a lot of damage.
Holmes is complaining about a low blow, and I think he was right. Joe Cortez says keep him up to Mike Tyson. That was a big right hand. Best punch of the fight.
Followed up by another good punch right after the bell. Holmes did do more fighting in that round, but he's playing a game called beat the clock. Trying to fight about 30 seconds of each round.
Big one, big one. Big one, big one.
All right, Big Jack. So,
Another one.
me. Let him do it.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Hold on. Let's go now. Come on now. You got to go, Trey.
It ain't over till it's over. This round had its best action right at the very end and right after the bell. Neither punch damaging.
Stay relaxed. Keep your knees bent, your defense tight, but keep your balance. Working behind a good hard jab. When you get inside, no, you got it. Who got it?
All right, second down.
Right hand to the head.
It was Customato who said that sometimes a great old fighter who appears to be shot can pull together one big effort.
Look at Larry Holmes.
Larry Holmes is
Look at
trying
the
it
jab.
right here.
Look at the jab. It started to stick out and snap.
And the crowd is really into this. Has been from the opening bell.
Look at the jab. Larry hands it down. He's popping the jab. Watch. Listen to the crowd now, Barry. It's fascinating how they change all of a sudden.
I seem to hear that same kind of reaction, I think, in another fight out in Las Vegas not too many months ago.
Oh, yeah, people change their mind because all of a sudden Larry Holmes is putting up a pretty good fight.
Well, we talked about the fact that Holmes one day said he would jab and the next day said he'd use his right hand and an uppercut. He's done both.
Larry got hit by a left hook, Barry, because he stood straight up and wasn't moving and didn't have his hands up. And that's going to happen time and time again. He cannot afford to do that. Like here, for example, he must tie his man up.
Let's go, Larry. Let's go. Come on. Let's go, Larry. Work out of it, guys. Larry, let's go. All right, break out clean. Let's go. You guys go home. Let's go.
That was a right hand, and down goes Holmes from a crashing right hand.
The old Larry Holmes would always get up and fire back. But he's in against a guy who is a tremendous finisher.
And down he goes again from another right.
There's a full minute left in this round.
Larry trying to clear his head. That's why he's walking around. What he needs to do now is either tie his man up. He can't move because he's not steady. He needs to just hold on.
It will take every bit of savvy that this man has. Tries to fight back. Still 40 seconds left.
He's still on Queer Street.
And took another big right hand. 30 seconds left. Tyson just looking for the one shot.
Well,
15 seconds left.
Tyson still has to be careful because Larry, that shot, that's
Huge
it.
right hand.
That should be it.
And down goes Holmes, and that's going to be it. It's over. That's all.
Mike Tyson looked like a bull in an antique shop. And what he did was he cut down the old grandfather clock. But we did see something of the old Larry Holmes, which was his great fighting heart, something always underestimated.
He got within 8 seconds of the end of the round. His leg really buckled underneath him, too, and I wouldn't be surprised if he might not have had a little problem there as well. But I think Larry Merchant really hit it. Mike Tyson is a great finisher.
Well, I tell you, Mike Tyson did the right thing as he's done in the past. He takes advantage of the opportunities, but you have to give Larry Holmes credit. Larry fought from the heart. You know, when Larry first said that, you know, he's fighting for this reason, that reason, I have problems with that. But he indicated to me in these 4 rounds that he was really trying to win a fight.
And he fought what you'd have to consider a smart fight, too. He seemed to do everything right for the time he was around. Here's the first knockdown now. Let's take a look at it. Big right hand right up on the top of the, over the eye.
It was a short right hand, overhand right that Mike Tyson delivered.
Watch it again. This is still the first knockdown. Set up with the left, and look at that right hand.
It was a beautiful right hand, the way it was executed, Barry, because he threw his jab, stepped inside, and delivered that overhand right. You watch the way that Mike Tyson steps in. Beautiful right hand. It was almost like a right hook.
And the second knockdown equally as pretty from the eyes of Mike Tyson. This is knockdown number 2 now. He had Holmes off balance, a left hand there. And that was more a cumulative effect than anything else.
At this point, he was wearing Larry Holmes down. And here, Larry Holmes trying to tie up Mike Tyson, but Mike Tyson, with his incredible strength, he comes up with the right hand to the top of the head.
And Larry Holmes doing what he had always done, and that is fighting back after he was hurt.
Mike Tyson at this point here is perpetual motion. He's not giving up. He's standing right in the chest of Larry Holmes. Larry's trying his best he can because his legs are not really that stable, but he's trying to maintain. And here, this was just the amount of time here. Those shots to the body, some coming to the top of the head, but here is when Larry was really, really hurt.
That's still the second knockdown. There was still the third knockdown, I beg your pardon. That was the final knockdown, the third knockdown.
Larry's trying to use his arms, trying to cover up. Here at this point, referee should have stepped in, but I guess it's respect of the champion of Larry Holmes' reputation. Holmes just being pummeled at this point. That right hand did a lot of damage. Larry legs went behind him.
Saw his left leg buckle behind him. One more look at the third and final knockdown. And the left hand was just a coup de grace, but it was definitely cumulative. I would have to say that Mike Tyson, from the first knockdown, probably hit him with 15 or 20 unanswered punches. So it's over, and let's go up to the ring announcer, Michael Buffer, and get the official decision.
Here's the official time. The end comes at 2 minutes, 55 seconds of the 4th round. The winner, and still the undisputed, undefeated heavyweight champion of the world, Iron Mike Tyson.
Well, Ray, I'd have to say that Mike Tyson probably fought as intelligent a fight as I've seen him fight so far.
Well, for a while, he was starting to get a little frustrated and a little over anxious, but with the instructions of Kevin Rooney, he slowed down, started going to the body more, and also what Rooney instructed him to do was to use his jab, stiff jab, then get inside. And by the later third round, it was just a matter of time.
He showed a little bit of patience, though. I think he was using a long left jab. He wasn't just rushing in just haphazardly like he used to do when he was inexperienced.
I guarantee you, Mike Tyson learned more from Larry Holmes than he's accomplished through all of his fights, because Larry Holmes, you know, is a tactician. It just wasn't his night. And Mike Tyson, without question, should be champ for a long time.
Let's take a look at the total punches in the fight, and they're pretty much indicative of how the fight went. Mike Tyson threw 132 and landed 65, just about 50%. Holmes 30 out of 70. Let's go to Larry Merchant, who is with the champion, Mike Tyson. Larry?
Okay, Mike Tyson, did this mean something special to you tonight? Because Larry Holmes was once an outstanding fighter.
Well, it's great to have the name on my record, but everyone knows Larry Holmes was a legendary fighter, and if he was at his best, I couldn't stand a chance. He's a great fighter. I admire him very much.
He made you wait for 4 or 5 or 6 minutes before the fight started. Would you just think this was the kind of gamesmanship?
Well, I was waiting for him to fight. I know when he fights.
I mean, before the fight even started, there was a long delay in the dressing room. Were you aware of it?
I didn't worry about it because I've seen him fight so many times, and just watching him fight so many times, I was expecting everything that he's done tonight.
When you got into the fight and you saw his tactics, was there anything that surprised you, that he was just trying to frustrate you?
Well, I knew he was trying to frustrate me, but I'm too seasoned of a fighter at this stage of my life to be frustrated for those particular tactics.
A year ago, when he had an opportunity to fight you, would it have been more difficult?
Well, like I said before, at his best, he was the greatest of our time.
Came the third round, he started to drop some right hands on you. Was that really a strategy to lull you and then to hit you with some right hands?
The right hands wasn't landing cleanly. They were only glancing blows. They weren't landing cleanly.
And what was effective for you, do you feel, up until the fourth round?
The right hand. I knew I was going to him the right hand because all through his career, he was susceptible to right hand.
And eventually that proved true. Was it something you saw, or was it just a question of getting close enough, firing off enough, and hoping for one to get in?
Kevin Rooney was telling me to get close enough so I could land the right hand, and I saw the opening, and I did it.
When you knocked him down, did you think that he would get up?
Well, I didn't think he would get up, but he's a game fighter, like I said.
You've seen a lot of films of him. He always got up in the past. Did you think he would be able to fire back? It looked at one point.
I knew once I got him hurt, he was finished.
That you're saying that other times he was knocked down, the fighters didn't know how to finish him?
Absolutely.
Okay, now let's take a look at the last knockdown, and please describe it for us, Mike.
Well, at this point, I knew he was very hurt, and he was fighting back. So I knew to throw everything at him. But I didn't know what he did. Even though he was hurt, he was fighting back, and very dangerous, even though he was hurt. Now you see right here, he's throwing punches, but I'm trying to land. I'm throwing everything. Boom.
Were you afraid that he was really hurt, or had you turned away and knew that it was over by that time?
I knew it was over, and I knew I didn't hit him with hard enough punches in vital areas to put him out or hurt him permanently.
What kind of feeling do you have now that you're over this hurdle?
Well, like I say, just another obstacle to my goal of being champion for as long as possible.
You've said in the past that the fight is the easy part. Was this the easy part tonight?
Absolutely, yes.
I said before this fight, this is a ceremony in which the torch is going to be passed from the great old king to the great new king. Do you feel in some way that that's when you said earlier it's a good name to have in my record, that's what that means?
Absolutely, yes.
The king is dead, long live the new king.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Larry.
And back to ringside.
Well, so Mike Tyson has won it in 4 rounds, and it's been said that if you're going to beat Mike Tyson, you got to hurt him first. Nobody's been able to do that. It's also been said that you have to back the man up, and nobody has been able to do that. There have been a couple of trainers who said Cus D'Amato's fighters, of course, who use that peekaboo style, like Mike Tyson does, have to be backed up to be beaten. Nobody's been able to do that to Mike Tyson. It's happened a couple of times. Dick Tiger did it once before to Jose Torres, who was a Cus D'Amato fighter. And Floyd Patterson lost a fight that he wasn't supposed to lose also to a fellow by the name of Sonny Liston, because Sonny Liston was able to back him up. But so far, Mike Tyson, of course, a bigger fighter, certainly bigger than Jose Torres, who was a light heavyweight, and much bigger than Floyd Patterson at 215 pounds, simply said nobody has been able to force Mike Tyson to take a backward step. That was the case for Larry Holmes tonight. He did portend himself very well, actually. He came in with a good fight plan. He told many people he was going to go only right hand and uppercuts. He did that. He told other people he was going to go mainly left jab. He did a little bit of that. Unfortunately for him, absolutely nothing worked. Nobody could hurt the man. Nobody could back him up. And the results in that case were inevitable. Mike Tyson knocks out Larry Holmes in 4 rounds. But Larry Holmes, you have to feel, will be treated kinder by history as time goes on, more so than he was as a champion. Tonight, he didn't go out with his head hanging. Sugar Ray Leonard, incidentally, is trying to make his way back to Larry Holmes' locker room to talk with the former champion. We hope to have that. Meanwhile, let's get back up. Ray Leonard is with the former champion. Ray?
Thanks, Barry. Larry, you displayed the heart you showed as a champion years ago. I thought the earlier rounds, your tactics were working. What game plan did you have in mind?
Exactly that. Going out there, circling time up, making miss. And what I did wrong was
waiting for those fifth round, because he usually get tired around the fifth round, waiting for that instead of going out and boxing, thinking about saving my energy. And when I started work, I wanted to go inside, and I got hit, you know.
You know, you fought the big guys, big punchers, Ernie Shavers, Ken Norton. How would you rate Mike Tyson's punching power?
Well, I got to say he's a sharper puncher than the other guys. The other guys punch much harder, but he's a sharper puncher, you know. Hit me right here on the forehead and knocked my equilibrium off, and that's all, you know. I just didn't have no more balance.
Did you study the tape of Bone Crusher Smith and pretty much picked up some of those tactics?
Yeah, well, you know, working around with somebody and working with the name guys and the good sparring partners, you know, you pick up a lot of that. When they come in, you tie them up, simple as that. But where I made my mistake is starting to getting ready to work, go and work with them inside. And, you know, he caught me with a right hook.
I think the big question is this it or?
Of course, man. This is it until someone offers me a lot of money and then I'll come out.
Are you saying if you're offered $5 more million, you're going to go back to the ring?
We take it in consideration, but we have to look at my finances. And right now, I don't have to fight anymore, Ray. I didn't have to fight this fight, but I wanted to come back and try to prove something, try to prove a point. I didn't like the way they done me in. The WBC was the only organization, legitimate organization that really stood behind me. I went with the IBF. The IBF didn't stand up. You know, everybody know I beat Spinks, and they walked away from me. And the WBA really never ranked me, period. Only one organization stood up with me, and that was the WBC. And that's why I was fighting. If I'd have won the title tonight, I would have threw them other belts away because it didn't really mean anything. I support the WBC, and I continue to do it now, even though I'm retired. And that's what I was trying to do. I was just trying to get back. That's something that someone took away from me. Not needing the money. Everybody knows that I'm rich and I invested well. But it was something that I wanted to do. And besides, you know, I made $3 million tonight, and that's not nothing to sneeze at, you know.
But was it only the money for you?
Well, your money plays a big part. If they'd have said do it free, Ray, they wouldn't have me out there tonight. I mean, let's face it, you know, for the money I do it. And I got to say, you know, giving Mike Tyson credit, you know, he's better than I thought he was. At least he punched better, and he is a true champion. They can talk about Spinks all they want, but this boy is just, he's very hard to hit. He's awkward, very awkward, and punches very good. So in my book, he's a champion. I think he should go down as such. I wish him good luck. But, you know, as we all go along, you know, somebody eventually will get us, and they got me tonight.
You know, like when I decided to make that comeback, it was just for Marvin Hagler, but for you, it was different reasons, wasn't it?
Of course, Ray. You know, I didn't like the way I went out. I didn't like the way they done it to me, and you know, I wanted to come back and show. You know, but you know, at 38 years old, the long layoff, it kind of hurts. But I don't have nothing to be ashamed of. I'm gonna hold my head high. I'm gonna still love my family, and I'm gonna have a party tonight, and I'm gonna have a party tomorrow night. So who cares what people say about me? You know, I'm gonna laugh all the way to Lafayette Trust Bank or Phillipsburg National at round one.
Where's that at?
We're gonna have a whole lot of fun at round one, right in Easton.
All right.
And Ray, you can come up too. I'll buy you a drink.
Thanks, man. I guess that says everything. Back to you, Barry.